again for another player interview. And today I'm going to be interviewing a very good friend of mine. This dude was a star on a historic Southern Miss basketball team this past season. They went 25-8 overall, one of the best records in program history. He really did a lot for his team. He's a 6'8" senior forward, DeAndre Pinckney. This dude can stretch the floor, knock down threes, rise above the rim, and slam it on your head. He's improved so much over the past few years, and he's stuck with his team throughout all of the adversity going on. One of the few guys that did not enter the transfer portal. Can't say how proud I am of this guy, being able to watch his journey, and I can't wait to get him on here and ask him some questions. Good to have you on here, man. Hey, congrats on what has been a historic season for Southern Miss basketball, man. You're a big part of that. Congrats. And you guys, you went 25-8 overall, 14-4 in Sun Belt action. The season before, not really the best season, 7-26. A lot of people wanted to forget that, but your guys' team, your coach, everyone rallied together, worked hard, got this season to where you wanted it to be, a really successful, got to be Sun Belt champs in the regular season, made it to the NIT. Talk to me about this past season and what that meant for you.
Yeah, man. Last year, was not the best season at all. And when the season was over with, we had a lot of dudes into the portal. I was thinking about getting in the portal myself. I was talking to my family about it and everything. And going into my last year, I knew I only had 1 year, and I really didn't want to take a risk of going somewhere else and not being able to produce like I want to, because I only have 1 year, and it's like this is my senior year, so this got to be the best year. And when the summertime hit, we got new coaches that came in. So when the new coaches came in, Coach Juan Cardano, Nick Williams, all those guys, I met with them. We talked a little bit. Me and Coach Juan, especially, he asked me what are my goals for the year, what I want to accomplish in my future. And I told him, I was just like, I want to be a pro. I like to work hard. Coach Juan know I work hard. I'm a team guy and everything. And he told me, he was like, don't leave. He was like, we got help on the way. And it was just a matter of me trusting him. And I'm familiar with Coach Juan. He coached down here at Miami Christian. They won state plenty of times. I knew some of the guys he had brought in prior, Marcelo, Nev, Felipe. I knew of those guys because, I played against them a couple times in high school. But, yeah, he told me, he was like, man, help's on the way. And he was like, we're going to get it done. And when I was talking to him, you could look into his eyes and you could see how serious he was about it. And he actually flexed on Instagram one time with a picture. He got 12 rings. So it's like, when I seen that, I'm like, okay, maybe I know he won a lot of state championships in high school. I'm like, okay, maybe you know what he's talking about. So I talked to Neftali Alvarez on the phone before he got here, and he was like, man, I like the way you play. I love your game. And Neff's the pass first point guard. He's an amazing dude, plays defense. He was like, man, Coach Juan, he was like, we gonna get it done. He was like, I'm gonna be there soon. He was like, we're gonna have Felipe come. Felipe, one of the best bigs in the country. And I was just like, I talked to God a lot about it. I prayed, and, God led me in the right direction. So when the summertime hit, everybody started coming in. It's like, me, I'm a person, when I was in JUCO my first year, we didn't really have a lot of togetherness. And I felt like that kept us from reaching our full potential, because I had a team full of D1 transfers. CJ Roberts, that played at Texas A&M Commerce and Texas Tech before. He was on my team. I had a lot of good dudes, Darrell Roberts, those guys from Texas. Yeah, we didn't really have that togetherness, and I feel like that stopped us. And so, going into my second year, I was team captain, and I just tried to pull everybody together, from the summer, because that's when it starts, in the summer, so that by the time season came, everything could be going like this. It's no rough marks or anything like that. And Austin came in on his visit. I think Austin was one of the first ones that came in, but he had already signed. So when Austin came in, there's like kid from Ole Miss, averaged 4 points, but Coach Nick had told me, he was like, he can hoop. And, I had looked up his highlights and everything, and I was like, okay, you feel me? So maybe we building something here. So it got time. As soon as Coach Warren got there, we got to work instantly. I'm talking about it's April. The season just ended. We in the gym. The guys who came back, it was like 4 or 5 of us, and then it was the 9 people that came in. And everybody didn't come in the beginning of summer. Some people came late, but everybody was there. Everybody just wanted to work hard. And, you know, we had a team. The coaches did a good job of recruiting because they got a bunch of guys who could hoop, but they're good people. And we all had that same mission and that same vision, which was, you know, to get to the tournament. But, of course, we didn't make it. But I just I salute the team. You know, everybody put their differences aside. And we stuck together for one common goal. You know, we went into the meeting room as a team. We laid out our goals, and pretty much everything we accomplished was on that board. One of the goals: 20+ wins, undefeated at home, above 500 on the road, conference championship, and the and get to the NCAA tournament. And you know, coaches, they did a good job of working with us every day and installing that vision, which was to get to the tournament in our head. And so it's like, as the season going on, you know, my team, we used to hang out a lot. So we had good chemistry, you know, on the court. If you ever watched us play, like, we out there having fun. We sharing the ball. We play defense. It is like we hang out outside of basketball. And that's what really helped us. A lot of people don't think, like, hanging out with your teammates and stuff outside of basketball helps, but it does, because it's like, if I know he got my back outside of basketball, I ain't got no problem trusting him on the court, that if I miss this assignment, or, you know, if I take this gamble, he gonna have my back. And when we went and we played Vanderbilt and we beat Vanderbilt, we knew, we was like, okay, like, maybe we could do something for real. So it's like, everybody, we went to Vanderbilt as a 17-point underdog. And like I can say, shouts out to Coach Juan, man, for bringing the energy. All the coaches, man, they brought the energy all summer leading up to that point. And that game, I feel like that game for us was the game that opened our eyes and say, hey, man, like, you guys, y'all can do something. You feel me? And Coach Juan said it. He told us, he said, this isn't a mid-major team. This is a mid-major program, but we got high-major players on our team. We got 6, 7, 8 dudes that can go play in the SEC, ACC, Big East. We got guys like that on our team who can go play in those big-time conferences. Because I played against high-major guys, and it's really not that much difference. All it is really the hype. When we between the lines, it's me versus you. There ain't no SEC, Conference USA, none of that. It's me versus you. And, yeah, man, so it's like, after that Vandy game, you know, that turned on the light switch, and it was like we went to rolling. So next one, our next challenge was the Cancun challenge. We had to go play at Liberty. We played Winthrop and Purdue, Fort Wayne. So we get to Liberty, and, like, you know, Liberty, they got Darius McGee, one of the leading scorers, 3-point shooters in NCAA history. And everybody's like, oh, you know, they're going to lose. And we went out there. We had Liberty down 30. Officiating got into it in that second half, but we stuck together. Man, a lot of times throughout this season, man, our team, we stuck together, and that's how we pulled away a lot of wins that we had, because we stuck together. When we were at Liberty, they went on a 27-0 run, which is, in my opinion, is unbelievable in college basketball. There's no way they scored 27 points. That's like 9, 10, 11 possessions, and we don't score at all. Like, we're not that bad a team when we can't score. And, yeah, we stuck together. We pulled off that win. And Coach Juan, after that, Coach Juan and all the coaches, man, they just telling us, man, we got to take it one game at a time. And that's how we looked at things. We didn't ever look ahead and like, oh, we got Louisiana next week, or we got Marshall this week. It's, okay, we got Arkansas coming in on Wednesday. That's the one we got to worry about, because you can't get to the next one if you don't take care of the one that's in front of that. And this year, I could say we probably had 2 bad practices where coaches is like, all right, like, y'all seem like y'all don't want to be here. Everybody just go home. And one of the practices was in postseason. So, you know, that says a lot about our team. The guys we got, everybody was mature. There was a rumor going around saying we had the oldest team in Division I. I don't know how true that is. But, yeah, man, leading up to Christmas break, we got UNLV. But UNLV was a game that we wanted. Like everybody, like man, by the time we play UNLV before the Christmas break, we both gonna be either 13-0 or like 11-2, 12-2, something. But we ain't gonna have a lot of losses. And went up to Vegas, man. UNLV was a good experience. Playing in an arena where they have summer league and everything. The environment was good. Good competition. You know, of course you didn't pull away with the win. But going into conference play, everybody got that break to go home, which I feel like was good. And most of the time when you come back from breaks, everything be slow, sluggish. Guys don't really be locked in. But with my team, we never had that problem. Everybody came back like, okay, we're getting ready for conference. You feel me? We know what we got to do. Let's get on it. Let's do it. Open up with Troy and App State. We in a new conference, so these teams we never really played before. Started off the conference 2-0, and Louisiana actually lost their first game to Coastal Carolina. So and Louisiana was actually picked to win the conference. Louisiana was picked to win the conference, but South Alabama was picked to win the conference back in the preseason. The preseason polls earlier, the first one that came out. And when we took that loss, I think our first conference loss, it was Louisiana. Yeah, went over to Louisiana. Guys weren't really locked in, and you see what happened. They embarrassed us over there, and the only thing we knew we could do was just come back to the gym and work. And one thing I can say about the coaches and the players, after a loss, nobody never came the next day hanging their head. You feel me? Guys was in the gym. We lose, everybody back in the gym, 7, 8 a.m. the next morning, working on their craft because it's over with. You can't do nothing about it. Only thing you could do is prepare for the next one. And, going through the conference games, playing teams and everything, Sunbelt's pretty good. It's a real good conference. A lot of people don't think that Sunbelt is, but it's some dudes in there that can really hoop and play high major and kill. And, I'll say my favorite game, though, this year was definitely the Louisiana game. They advertised that one for about a month. And we knew it was going to be a big game because they had beat us over at their place. And we had them at home. And that was we went on I think we played 5 home games straight. So when we came off our 4-game road stretch, Coach, we got to take care of these next 5 at home. If we take care of these next 5 at home, we going to end up being in the top of the conference. And, Louisiana came in there, man. I'm talking about sold out. Everybody, it's crazy. I ain't never played in an environment like that. And it was just it was a good experience. I've been here and it's been 200 people in the stands. Nobody in the stands. Nobody want to watch the game. Nobody wants to watch losers, which is not wrong with that. That's sports. That's the world we live in. But just being a part of something that went from bottom to the top is just an amazing feeling. 7 games, 25 in a single season is unheard of. Not too many teams do that. And man, I was just I say, man, I was just big shout out to my team, my coaches, because them guys, they work hard every single day. I'm talking about countless hours, mornings, nights, afternoons, evenings. They just working, and everything paid off. And leading up to the last couple games in the conference on that last road stretch where we had played Texas State and Old Dominion, it was we were all, I think it was a 3-way tie for first between us, Marshall, and Louisiana. So Coach we got to take care of business, always take care of business. And we went to Old Dominion, we lost, but we were actually up. We lost within the last minute, and that game hurt a lot of people. It wasn't the last game, but we knew that if we would have won that, it didn't matter if we lost or won the next one. We were still going to win the conference. And, after that Old Dominion game, AC was crying. We got dudes that's crying in the locker room. And it's it hurts. You feel me? We didn't really lose a lot this year. So it's when we lost those games, and especially the games we knew we could have won, it hurt on the inside because we knew that we worked extremely hard. And personally, I don't feel nobody in the Sun Belt worked as hard as we did in practice or even on game days. But, man, we went over to Texas State. It was just a different energy from the guys because we knew that if we took care of business this game, we planned for that hardware, like we was gonna get it. And the week before Coach Ladner came, we went to practice. We had film before. He actually brought his Southeastern Louisiana Conference champion ring. And I think him doing that, it really showed guys like, this is what y'all playing for right now. You know, we got about 4 games left. 1 game at a time, y'all take care of business. Next couple months, everybody gonna have that hardware on their finger, flexing, smiling, you know, because we accomplished something that everybody came together for, one of our goals, which was to win the conference. And yeah, man, this season it's been the best season by far I've had personally in Division I, and one of the best teams I played on.
Yeah, you guys really did a phenomenal job. I actually watched that game against Vanderbilt. You had a double-double in that game. And, you know, you talked about beating Liberty. They're a very tough team, one of the toughest teams in the A-Sun. And you yourself, you had an incredible season individually. We talked about your team, but for you yourself, you went off average 13 a game, 6.6 rebounds, shot nearly 50% from the field. You had some games, I mean, back-to-back double-doubles where you had 21 and 13 and then 24 and 11. That got you Sun Belt Player of the Year or Sun Belt Player of the Week about halfway through conference. And then at the end of the season, you were recognized third team conference, deservingly so. You put in a lot of work. I saw your highlights, a lot of them where you were knocking down threes more consistently this season. Head of the rim, a lot of highlight dunks. What did you do during the offseason to really get yourself physically ready for this season?
Soon as last season was over with, I got to work immediately. I sat down with myself, you know, I talked to God and I was asking him, like, do I stay? Do I leave? You know, what do I really want for myself? And in my room, I have a paper on the wall that I made back in April with a list of goals that I wanted to accomplish. You know, winning the conference was one of them. Better stats, again, an all-conference selection. And they cheated me on that all-conference selection because the person they put on second team averaged less points, less rebounds, and had a worse record than me. So that, I know it's politics and everything, but they held me on that one. But yeah, this offseason, man, I just worked extremely hard every day. Every day I was in there with Coach Juan, Coach Zay, Coach Nick, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm up, we getting to work in. And with the coaches, they bring that level 10 energy every day. It's like you ain't got no choice but to go hard. It's like if you don't go hard, you feel like you cheating yourself. And not because coach like, oh, like, why you not going hard? It's just because you know that these guys taking time out their day to be in here with you, and they working hard coaching you, and the least you can do is just work hard at what you're doing. And I got a lot of shots this off season. I knew I wanted to improve my shooting, and I feel like the main thing for me, it wasn't so much working on my craft, but it was me getting that confidence back. My first year here, I came off a double surgery, like 8 months apart. I had 2 surgeries coming out of JUCO. I didn't have any rehab, so that first year in Division I, it was like up and down because I was still dealing with my foot injury, and then I had ended up getting a concussion early on in the season. So that first year was really rough, especially dealing with COVID, everybody in and out, stuff like that. And last year's team, man, that's just one of the teams you don't want to remember. It was a lot of outside factors that took away from what we were trying to do inside the program. And yeah, in the summer, man, I was every time. I didn't go home in the summer. You know, most people, they go home, but I didn't go home. I actually stayed in Hattiesburg. Me and the coaches, we worked out every day. I get up in the morning, shoot, run. I go run 2 miles. We have a trail outside my apartment that goes like all the way through the city. And I would get up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, go run 1 mile down all the way to campus and run back. So I get my 2 miles, run in the morning, take a shower, chill out, and then I go to the gym and get shots with Coach Zay. But me just knowing that this was my last year, and I couldn't afford to, I couldn't afford to take any steps back because I didn't have another year. Unlike, you know, some guys, they'd be like, okay, well, I'll get it next year. Or, you know, stuff like that. I didn't have that option. It was like either now or never. And I had to really lock in. It's like, all right, You trying to go make money for this. I don't want to work no job. You feel me? I'm cool with playing basketball, collecting the check twice a month. And I just locked in, man, worked hard, worked on my game with Coach Zay, Coach Juan. It was times, I'm telling you, like, we only was allowed to work out an hour. So in this 1 hour, I felt like I was in a 3-hour practice. That's how hard we was working. And the stuff we were doing wasn't hard, but it was just that working out at a high level, I feel like, which helped me a lot. And when the season started off, I started off slow. Really didn't score a lot, but one thing I couldn't let was myself get down. I couldn't get down on myself, lose that confidence, because I knew that's what I was trying to gain back. So my coaches and players, one game to start the season, I think I probably went like 1 for 8, missed like 6, 7 threes, but them guys, like, they got my back. They like, man, keep shooting. Like, you're a great shooter, but just keep shooting. Don't worry about the misses. It's basketball. Them shots don't start falling. And, I never lost that confidence. My team, you guys had my back the whole way, and I just salute them for it, because I feel like personally, without my coaches, my team, and God, I wouldn't be able to accomplish what I accomplished.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely show why you're one of the best players in the Sun Belt this past season with that work ethic, with all of the improvements that you've made in your game, both physically and mentally. Confidence, like you said, that's a big factor that a lot of players don't realize. And you had the confidence in yourself to stay with Southern Miss throughout these past 3 seasons. I know there have been a lot of transfers with that program as far as people transferring out since you got there. But you're one of a very few players. Tyler Mormon has stayed all of those 3 years. Harris and Armstrong, they stayed alongside with you. The 4 of you guys persevered through that adversity you guys went through. Do you feel like it means more for you guys being able to go through that struggle and finally come out on top?
Yeah, man, it definitely means more than most people think, because it's like, we first year 6, 7 games win, it's like losing, and it's like it take a toll on you mentally, because it's like, why are we winning? Like, I want to win. Nobody wants to go out every game and lose, especially when you're working hard. And then it's like, you really just trying to figure out, is it you? Is it the people around you? Is it the coaches? And man, those guys that stayed, they work hard, just as hard as I work. Some of them may not get a lot of playing time, but those guys in the gym all the time. And I've been a part of programs where the first couple years we didn't win more than 5 games, and then those last 2 years when I was in high school, those last 2 years, we won more games in those last 2 years than they did it in the prior 4 years. So me, I'm a big person of, trusting the process and stand down till you come up. And one of my good friends, I call her my little sister. I'm actually wearing her merch right here. Prolific, make sure you gotta tap in. We talked a lot through the year, and she tells me, she just be like, man, everything gonna come together. Just stay down till you come up. And me, I'm a firm believer that it just, with everything, even in life, when you start off at a job, let's say you start with a pro contract, and you probably only making like 7,000, 8,000. You keep working hard, it's gonna go up. You just gotta stay down. You gotta make the best of what you have, so that when your time does come, you're ready, and you're ready to accept all those blessings. But yeah, I just prayed a lot throughout the year. Coach Juan, those guys, Coach Liner, they're big believers in Christ. We prayed before every practice, pray after every practice, before every game, after every game. And I personally feel like God had his hand on our team this year, and he's the reason that we accomplished a lot of things that we accomplished.
That's awesome, man. That's great that you guys were all able to go through the adversity through the past few seasons, you and those teammates I mentioned, and then your coaches being able to help you guys out so much. And then, of course, God being able to be there with you, looking out for you guys, helping you through this process. That's amazing. Your head coach, Jay Ladner, really, he turned things around so much this season. I know he's nominated for a couple of Coach of the Year awards because of the big turnaround that you guys have had. He had to convince, Austin Crowley and Philippe Haase to come to a program where the previous season you guys had one of the worst years, and that really helped you guys out a lot. I mean, Crowley averaged 16 a game. Hase averaged another 15. You, of course, averaging 13. He really helped turn everything around, keep guys motivated, and like you said, told you guys, hey, listen, we're going to go win a chip. We're going to go win a championship. Trust me, we'll get there. And you guys did that. How do you talk to me a little bit about your coach? How do you feel like his impact on this team was so big?
I feel like the coaches that he brought in with him this year, Coach Nick, Coach Juan, and already us having Coach Zay, those young assistants that we have, I feel like because they bring such a high level of energy, it rubbed off on Coach Ladner. You know, Coach Ladner a little bit much older, and he was the type, like, he wants to recruit high school kids and, you know, have them there for 4 years, develop them. But, you know, he was like, this year, he just wants to get back to how he was doing things when he's at Southeastern Louisiana with the style of play, you know, getting JUCO guys, much older guys. And, yeah, Ladner's a great guy. He's a great guy, man. Love him to death, love all our coaches. But him just, you know, giving us that freedom to, you know, play offense, defense, I feel like that's where he made his impact. He told our guys, like, you know, we're going to get up and down. You know, we're going to get up and down. We got a lot of slim guys who interchangeable, who could switch 1 through 5. We didn't really have, like, a big footer or somebody who just, you know, was slow or something like that. We had a lot of guys who we interchange. So us having that worked to our benefit because we were able to install different game plans on defense. We played the matchups on 21. It's like sometimes I may be on the bottom, sometimes I may be in the paint, sometimes I may be up at the top all in one possession. That's how versatile our team was. And he gave everybody the freedom. You know, everybody, we had the green light. If you open, you got to shoot it. This is Division I. You don't really get too many chances to catch and shoot wide open. So everybody just working on their confidence and him just telling guys, like, man, you catch it, you got to shoot it. And that's what Coach Juan, he really told me when we had our meeting. He was like, you got to shoot the ball more. He's like, if you don't shoot it, you're not going to know if you're going to make it. And I was like, well, you know, you do got a point. And he made a joke later on in the season. He was talking to one of my teammates who really didn't want to shoot the ball a lot. And he was like, you see, Dre, all I had to do was tell him one time to shoot the ball, and now he shoots the ball the whole team in his face. You know, we joke and everything, but it's like, yeah, man, Coach Leonard just giving us that freedom to play together is what really helped us. Him not having us systematic. You know, a lot of teams more systematic, where it's like, okay, the point guard always have to have the ball and everything has to go a certain way, but we didn't do that. We got up and down the court. Whoever got the rebound, you bring it up. You don't matter. We was just out there hooping. That's just so much to say. We was just out there hooping together. 5 dudes who had good chemistry and high IQ just out there putting it together. Because that's all basketball really is. Like, you could install a system and a plan, but you on a court, like, you got to be a basketball player. You can't just go out there and be robotic.
Yeah, absolutely. And the system that he helped you guys put in, where you guys were just going out there hooping night after night, getting those dubs basically every single night. I mean, only 8 losses on the season. Every single week you guys are racking up a couple of wins here and there, and that helped you guys out all as a team and individually. I know you guys had quite a few NBA scouts at some of your games. I believe when you guys played Louisiana at home, there were a couple of scouts there. I know you yourself, you mentioned it a couple of times, your last year of eligibility this past year. College is done with. Now you're heading to the pros. How are you really getting ready for the upcoming NBA draft? I know you got a couple of NBA scouts looking at you, I'm sure, and just getting ready for that pro life in general.
Right now, just getting my mind together right now to lock in for what's about to come for me next. But next week when I get back home, you know, I'm home in Miami right now, but next week once I get back home, I'm locked in. I'm getting in the gym every day back how I was last year. You know, getting 2-a-days, getting back in shape, and just staying in shape because I know that when that opportunity comes, I got to be ready for it. You know, opportunity favors the prepared, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for the opportunity. But I graduated in May. Once graduation over with, I was just figure out what's next for me. The main thing for me is going somewhere where who's gonna throw the money. That's what it is. Like me, life is short, so I can't be out here, you know, depending upon what I'm gonna make next year. I gotta have it now. You know, that's what I say. I work hard. I feel like I work harder than a lot of people. And I came from a winning team, and I bring winning to the table. And I feel like that's going to help put a lot of money in my pocket. But definitely, man, these next couple weeks, in April, definitely I'm going to be working hard, nonstop, morning, afternoon, in the gym, get back on that routine of, get in the gym more consistent, because in basketball, you can't afford to miss 2-3 days at a time, because you can lose it like that. But you just gotta stay ready at all times, and that's just my main thing for the next couple months, is just being able to stay ready at any moment and be ready for what God's about to put me through.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And no matter where you end up, what team you end up with, first off, they're going to pay you a bag because you definitely deserve it. Second off, they're getting Mr. Efficient. I have to throw in your nickname there. And you're going to succeed, and I'm definitely going to be watching your highlights for sure. Thank you so much for doing this with me, man. You were my very first interview when I first started doing these. So being able to have you on here for another one really means a lot to me.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
definitely
man.
remember being the first one when you started up, man. You know, you my guy, man. We got that relationship through JUCO. I'm always open to helping and stuff like that. And a lot of people actually feel like that I got the nickname Mr. Efficient from this year, but that's not true. I actually got it when I was in JUCO. I led JUCO, the nation, in field goal percentage at 65. And my sophomore year, I averaged 20 points, 11 rebounds on 50% from the three, 70% field goal percentage, and like 50 from three, 70 field goal percentage, 65 field goal percentage, and probably like 70, 75 from the free throw line. But that's why I actually got it, because I never took the most shots I ever took in a game in JUCO was 19 shots, and I had 41 points. I went 16 for 19. So every game I went out, I was getting 20 and 10 on less than 12 shots. So that's why I got that nickname from. And I'm just going to work on getting back to it. Coach Zay, we always talk, his main thing is just stay consistent, be consistent. And that was also one of the main things that I was working on this off season, with getting my confidence back, is just staying consistent. But I definitely appreciate you having me, man. I definitely have no problem, taking time out of my day for you, because, you helped me a lot. And, yeah, it means a lot. And everybody who watching, if you a hooper, football player, you got some highlights made, tap in to Slim, man. He going to get you right, man. Price is good, but he's a good guy. The work is great. Just make sure y'all tap in.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. You have a great time in Miami. When you get back to Southern Miss,
Appreciate you,
go
Slim.
make that money, man.